Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Sideline Speaks with myself, Brittany Jones, alongside Jason Collins and Kevin Walker, right here on Never Had It So Good Sports Media Network. What's going on, K Walk and Jay?
All is well. All is well. Looking forward to a great one, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, everything's good. Looking forward to a good show. A lot of good topics. It's gonna be fun tonight. Gonna be fun tonight.
I guess the positive thing is everybody's football team made it to the playoffs. Well, Jay's temporary team. I always make that clear because
Yeah, I got a couple more weeks with them.
if they
Got a
lose,
couple more weeks with him. You heard that, Britt, right?
yeah, I heard it, but you see how I just tried to go right by it, right? Because if they lose, he'll be looking for a whole new team very soon. So maybe next week he'll be looking for a team. We'll see. But you guys ready to talk some sports today?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, guys. So we're gonna start in the dirty South here. The Houston Texans recently fired head coach Lovie Smith after only one season. One season. This will be the third head coach they will hire in the offseason in 3 years. They also fired former head coach David Culley after only one season as well, after the 2021 NFL season. So I gotta ask you guys a question. Should Lovie Smith have been fired after only 1 year? Right, what the heck can he do? Jay, I'm coming to you first on this.
Yeah, I don't know what the Texans are thinking, right? Because if you want to build an organization, you have to have some kind of continuity, and it's got to start with the head coach and the coaching staff. If you keep firing guys 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, you're never going to build anything. So to me, it feels like a losing organization doing what a losing organization would do. And I got to be honest, like the Texans have really kind of messed this thing up. Like it wasn't that long ago that they were a competitive football team trying to get into the playoffs and make some noise. And now they're the worst team in football. So no, I don't think Lovie Smith should have got fired. Look, you can't even really evaluate a coach when you don't have the talent to put on the field to see what that coach is really able to do. Lovey was in a really unfair situation. Give him some time, get some players in there, and then evaluate what he can do. Look, he's a good coach. He's been around forever. It's not like Lovey Smith doesn't know how to coach football, but no one's going to win in that organization. It doesn't matter who the coach is. So just another bad move by the Texans. Do you think they were mad because they won and didn't get the number one pick and they sort of retaliated by firing him? I don't know. Mm-hmm. But all around, it's just a bad decision. You're never going to win that way if you keep cycling through coaches every year.
Yeah, I feel bad for Lovie Smith. I agree with everything that you said, Jay. Like, what was he going to do? You gave him nothing.
Yeah.
Every star you had in the past left. J.J. Watt, Brandon Cooks wants out. You traded away Deshaun Watson. Granted, y'all wasn't getting along. A few other stars decided they wanted to leave. Who do you have left? Justin Houston? That's his name, right? I think it's Justin Houston. Or is that his name? I think that's his name.
Maybe. I couldn't name one person on the roster.
Yeah, I can't. It's the defensive guy. I can't even think of his name. I don't even think that's his name. I think I chopped his name up. But what did you expect for him to do? Allow him to come in, allow him to go through a draft, get some of the players that he wants to be on a team, bring in some free agents. I mean, honestly, if you're a free agent, do you even want to go to this type of horrible organization? Probably not. He actually got this bad team to play well against some good competition.
Yeah.
Eagles. I think they played well against the Cowboys. There was a couple other games that they top tier teams that they played well against. So he was showing, or you could tell this team was improving. I mean, they didn't have the talent to really win any games. And then in the last game of the season against the Colts, I mean, the Colts are terrible in themselves, but they end up winning that game, like you said. Right. So it seems like the only reason why they fired him, like you said, Jay, was because they won his last game of the season and lost out on the first overall pick. And now you got to potentially trade up to hopefully get the quarterback that you want. And honestly, I'm not even sure if the Bears is even going to go for a quarterback in the draft because they have Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Is that the way? Do you see him being better than, or do you see Bryce Young being better than Justin Fields? Maybe, maybe not. I like Justin Fields. But this organization is ridiculous, and I feel bad for Lovie Smith. And no, he should not have been fired after only 1 year. But K Rock, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you guys hit on everything that I was going to say. I mean, it's pretty much just like you guys mentioned. It's just an organization who's in it's in disarray, and they just have no idea what they want, what they need. To be honest with you, I mean, Lovey is a guy. I don't know how you fire a guy like that. Like Jay mentioned, he's been around the league for so long, and to only give him 1 year in that particular situation just shows you what type of organization that we're talking about, we're dealing with here. You mentioned Deshaun Watson being out of there. Brandon Cooks has recently said he wants out, and it just makes sense there. Because looking on I can only imagine what it is on the inside, and from us looking on from the outside, it just looks like a train wreck. To be perfectly honest with you. So I can only imagine what it looks like on the inside. So yeah, I'm not gonna. There's nothing more that I can say that you guys haven't already said. But Lovey is a respectable guy, man, and probably the best beard in all of sports, mind you, as well. I love that beard, bro. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just rough to see a guy like that put in that situation and then ultimately be handed his walking papers for sure. So yeah, I know he's going to bounce back. He's going to be a coordinator somewhere in the near future. A guy like that you would want in your locker room. You want him with your organization if you know what you're doing. So yeah, definitely the wrong move by the Houston Texans. But I just think that's just one of the first moves of many that we're going to question when it comes to the Houston Texans.
I mean, you know what? I think Lovie Smith is going to find another job because he is a good head coach. If not, he would be a great coordinator and someone, like you said, Caleb, someone you definitely want in your locker room. But as we know, I know I didn't tell you this, text you guys, this question I'm about to ask you guys. But as you know, the Texans have a list of potential coaching candidates they want to interview, such as the Eagles defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. I don't know if he's ready, but whatever. I'm not going hiring him. 49ers defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans. I don't know if that will work. I know they had a lawsuit situation going on not that long ago. And a few others. I know there's someone from Detroit Lions, and I can't remember the other person. If you were any of these guys, any of these gentlemen here, would you accept the Texans head coach job knowing their history? K-Walk, I'm coming to you first.
Well, yeah, that's like you mentioned DeMeco Ryans and that Texans organization that they kind of left on bad taste in each other's mouths there. So we're going to see what that happens. But with any other coach, I would think if you want that head coaching experience, then you would take it. It's hard not to take a head coaching position if that's what your ultimate goal is to be. Maybe someone will go in there and say, listen, I got aspirations of being a head coach. If I can help this team win or make this team win, then I can coach anywhere. I can be a head coach anywhere. And I think a lot of people or a lot of candidates in this situation are going to look at it in that way and saying, listen, I'm going here. I'm gonna be a head coach. I know what my philosophy is. I know what my identity, what I want to be, what my identity is. And if I can make this work, I can make it. I can make a name for myself, and then perhaps you can get a coaching job elsewhere if it doesn't work. But for the most part, if I'm a head coach, if I'm a coordinator, and I'm looking to be a head coach, I say let's do it. I'm all in right now, and I want to see if I can make this work. And then on top of that, if it doesn't work, then you have head coaching experience, and you know how to approach it the next time that if you're in that situation for sure. But I would do it if I was a head coach. I mean, if I was a coordinator looking to be a head coach.
See, myself, I don't know. I don't think I would do it. Just knowing their history, how do I know they'll give me a chance to make a difference?
Someone has to take that job, though.
And you're right. But here's my thing. They're going to give me 1 year. What if I fail after 1 year, like Lovie Smith, and I don't have the resume of Lovie Smith? This is my first head coaching position. How do I know I will then get another opportunity? Because they may base it off of what this crazy organization decided to do. I think just for me, myself, I don't trust this organization, and I will rather wait a year. If I'm that good in what I'm currently doing, I will have absolutely should have other opportunities. Jonathan Gannon, D'Amico Ryans, they're definitely going to
D'Amico
have
won't
other
take it.
opportunities.
D'Amico won't take it. I know that
Oh
for a
no, no,
fact.
no,
D'Amico won't take
no. He's not going. He's not going to take it at all. Especially with that whole situation they had going on in the past. But maybe Jonathan Gannon, or I think the other guy's name is Ben Johnson. I think he's from the Detroit Lions. I think I have the right guy. I just know, just as for myself, I'm going to say no, just based off their history, because clearly they don't appreciate their stars on the team, and they daggone don't appreciate their head coaches, because you have to give your head coach an opportunity at least 2 years to show that, hey, I can make a big difference in this organization and help this team grow. But Jay, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think both of you guys are right. I mean, Britt, ideally, you're right. Like, you would want to be able to have the luxury to be choosy and say, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to see if there's a better opportunity, or, oh, I'm going to wait until next year. Maybe something will be better because this isn't an organization that I want to start my coaching career for, right? But to K Walk's point, you just don't know. I mean, there's only 32 jobs, and you just don't know who's going to be that next hot guy that comes along and maybe skips the line and gets ahead of you. So if you're a coach who feels like, you know what, these opportunities aren't offered to me a whole lot anyway, maybe I have to take the first thing I can get. And some coaches just don't have the luxury of being choosy. So I think if you're in that situation, you might have to take it. One thing about all coaches that I've ever been around is they're supremely confident. Like, they always think they're the coach that can change it. They're the coach that can turn it around. So I feel like a lot of these guys are thinking, yes, it went bad for other guys, but if I get the opportunity, I can make it work. Because that's just how coaches think. So I kind of agree with both of you guys. If it was me, ideally, no, I wouldn't want to take that job. But also knowing, hey, am I going to get another opportunity anytime soon? Maybe I need to just jump on the one that's in front of me. So I guess my answer is no, I wouldn't want to take it, but I understand why someone would, because like I said, there's only 32 opportunities out there to be a head coach in the NFL.
But then on the other side, which I do agree with you guys in saying that, well, if you take this job, and just looking into the future, it may never happen. Take this job, and in other teams, you get fired from the Texans. Other teams are like, well, you didn't do that great with the Texans. So there's always a back and forth to every situation. But I'm gonna shout out one of our our viewers, if that's okay. I just thought this was funny. He said, "Man Down Sports said, I'd rather take a job at NC State. I'm sorry, NC A&T.
North Carolina A&T. I don't know about that one, man down.
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously, right?
Now, if that's the case,
that ain't that bad.
That's a bad situation.
But you know what?
Absolutely a bad situation.
You know what? Too, he does make, he does make a nice point in saying, they are going to get a really good draft pick, right? A big time quarterback. We're all assuming. Really, a lot of franchises are just a really good quarterback away from turning things around quickly. So if you can get the right guy in the draft, figure out a way to add a couple other pieces, it may not be a 3-4 year project if you can find the right guy to play quarterback for you.
Yeah, I figured I'd just put the comment up there so you guys know what Jay was talking about for those who are watching this. But yeah, no, that makes sense. It's a new situation, but hopefully you give the next coach a true chance to really coach up this team. But all right, guys, let's move on and let's get to we know he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. We may have a lot of questions, although, we may consider him one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play the game, but there's still a lot of big question marks. The Packers had a win and end situation to get into the playoffs, but came up short on Sunday night against the Detroit Lions. Packers end up losing 16-20. Will Aaron Rodgers ever play in a Packers jersey again? If not, what team do you see him going to? Or will he retire? K-Walk, I'm coming to you first on this one.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to see Green Bay or Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. The reason being that contract he just signed is just too big for anyone else to take on. I mean, there's only a handful of teams, if that many, that have the cap space to bring Aaron Rodgers aboard. And I think the only team that really can afford him already has their franchise quarterback, and that's Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. I think this is one of those things where, I know he kind of said that, he doesn't know what direction he wants to be in. So the carousel, I'm paraphrasing here, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you got to know when to get off the carousel and whatever the organization wants to do. But we've seen this in the last few years from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that once off season that he went to a vacation and did whatever he did. I just think it's just in a moment type deal right now. I don't think you could put any of this on Aaron Rodgers. I think you put most of this on the organization because they just didn't have, when you trade away Devontae Adams, I mean, you trade away the best receiver in the game. As far as I'm concerned, he is the best receiver in the game. And you take, arguably the best quarterback in the game, and you take away the best receiver in the game from him, then, what do you expect this guy to do? And then you bring in an 85-year-old Randall Cobb, and then you got these young receivers that don't know how to run the routes and things of that nature. I mean, it's kind of going back to what we talk about Lovie Smith. He doesn't have much to work with. So I think that he'll be back. I think it'll be an Aaron Rodgers off season that we're used to seeing, where we're going to sit here and talk about Aaron Rodgers every single day. Well, should he be there? Where is he going to be? I say he's going to be in Green Bay, but let's just say he doesn't go. He's out of Green Bay, to answer your question, Britt. I just don't see, and maybe Washington, the Commanders there might be a good spot for him. Just a couple of teams just a team that are right off the top of my head. There are other we talked about Houston. Maybe Houston can pull a deal off. They got the number 1 or number 2 pick. Maybe they pull the trigger and try to get him. I know Aaron Rodgers won't want to go there, but but yeah, I know who wants to go there.
He'll retire.
But, yeah, I know what I'm saying. I'm just talking about quarterback needy teams right now. But yeah, I just think that just a couple of teams there, but he'll probably retire before he'll go to Houston. But I think he'll ultimately be back in Green Bay. I just think right now they're just mad at each other because of the fact of the matter, meaning the organization and Aaron Rodgers, because of how the season ended. They had to control their own destiny, and we talked about it last week. If Green Bay gets in there, they could be a scary team. Would you want to face them? But the Lions came in there and did, what the Lions been doing all season, is playing really great football, really physical football, really tough football, hard-nosed football. But nonetheless, I think Aaron Rodgers will be back in Green Bay.
Yeah, I think for myself, I do agree. I think he'll be back in Green Bay. All this walking down the tunnel with Randall Cobb, what that contract is looking like. I think he's due to make $59 million next year. I don't think he's giving that 50.
Up. Yeah. Well, and
then the cap hit for the Packers is $31 million, but if they get rid of him, your dead cap hit is $99 million. That doesn't even sound right. He's going to be right there in that Packers stadium, in that Packers jersey, primary because that contract is ridiculous. Now, for some reason, if Aaron Rodgers says, you know what, I would like to restructure my deal to be able to go elsewhere, what about the Raiders? They're potentially getting rid of Derek Carr.
Too. Yeah.
You go back there with Devontae Adams. They got a couple other young, nice pieces. Got Josh Jacobs in that backfield. Defense with Max Crosby. That's not a bad place to be for him before he decides to retire. But again, it comes down to that contract. And right now that contract is saying you're going to stay right here in Lambeau Field in the Packers jersey, and you're going to put a smile on your face until we can either get rid of you based off of money or you retire or whatever occurs. But in my mind, all this hype about he may be leaving his last days, and no, that's not happening only because of that money. And honestly, he'd be crazy to give that money up. But Jay, what are your thoughts?
No, I think you guys are right. I think he just enjoys the attention. He likes being coy, trying to leave the impression that maybe this is the end. Oh, I want to save my jersey. Some jerseys are just special. He just likes the attention. He's not going anywhere. He still has a lot of football left in him. And toward the end of the season, he was really starting to get some chemistry with those receivers. So I think they have a chance to be better next year. So no, I think Aaron Rodgers wants people to talk about him, wants people to say, could this be the end? He'll be back. There'll be some drama in the offseason, but he'll be back.
I guess he got tired of all that Tom Brady talk. He's the greatest. He's going to retire maybe after this year. He's like, I need to put my name out there more, bring some more attention to myself. So, but yeah, he'll be back. He is not going anywhere. So all your Packers fans, relax. Now, if you wanted to see Jordan Love, sorry, Jordan Love. Now he might get traded. I don't know what his contract is looking like before Aaron Rodgers leaves, but we'll see what happens. And good luck to those Packers fans. I don't like the Packers, guys. Forget the cheese heads. Who the heck cares about some cheese heads? And somebody made a valid point in our comments. D-Hop might be on the trading block. Could the Packers go after him to give Rodgers some more help with Christian Watson on the other side?
Be a good pickup.
That's be a major pickup for them. But all right, guys. So as we know, there are about 14 teams that made it to the playoffs, I believe, right? So that means there's about 18 NFL teams that did not make it to the playoffs. Of these 18 teams, give me 2 teams that you feel will definitely make it to the playoffs next season, next year. I know it's a little premature to think about next season, but that's what we're going to do today. Jay, I'm coming to you first on this one.
Yeah, look, I think there's a few that jump out that seem like pretty easy picks, like the Tennessee Titans. I feel like they underachieved this year. They were this close to making the playoffs. You have to believe the Titans are going to get it turned around next year, and I think they'll make the playoffs. So I feel like Tennessee is a pretty sure bet. I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers, just because Mike Tomlin never has losing seasons. And again, they were just a couple things went their way. They would have ended up in the playoffs if they could have got a little bit of help. And the young quarterback, Kenny Pickett, I think he's going to be really good next year. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers made the playoffs. I know you said 2 teams, Britt, but I want to throw in a bonus team here because let me just sneak one in here. The Denver Broncos. I know they were bad this year. Russ looks like he's done. They're going to get a new coach in there. Russ is going to get it turned around. They have a really good roster. Don't be surprised if the Broncos make a big turnaround next year and are in the playoffs.
See, now I'm mad at you because you just took my team. I said 2 teams. Listen to the direction.
I had to sneak that one in.
Understand the assignment.
You do your mentions at the end after everybody else answers. Now I got to go second because you took one of my teams. But no, you're right. Those 3 teams, I agree. I want the Denver Broncos. I'll say them first since you said it. Yes, Nathaniel Hatchett is gone. They will get a new head coach in who I think will know what the heck he's doing, because I don't think Hatchett knew what the heck he was doing in the situation. I agree with you. Russell Wilson will regain form. We will see. We might not see the old Russell Wilson because he is older, and things happen. But towards the end of the season, he became more mobile than he was throughout the entire season. I don't know if you guys seen that. The last game I watched, he threw a bomb. I think it was to Jerry Jeudy. What a throw. He was moved out of the pocket and threw it directly to Jerry Jeudy for a touchdown. It was a nice, beautiful throw. They have a top 10 defense. They were number 7 overall. So they're going to keep, a lot of young players. They want to keep most of those young players. I know Patrick Surtain is one of the top young corners in the game. So they'll have that for next year. They still have Jerry Jeudy right now. Will he get traded? Maybe, maybe not. They still have Courtney Sutton. And they could be looking at Sean Payton. So granted, I know they tried to trade for him recently. The Saints said no, whatever they were offering, but it's still a long offseason. There has been rumors that Sean Payton may be interested in going to the Broncos because, of course, Russell Wilson have a good defense. It sounds something right up his alley. Hopefully he goes there and not to them Cowgirls. I would greatly appreciate that.
Peyton. I ain't said nothing about them Eagles all day. And there she goes, Peyton, K-Walk.
But if Sean Payton goes to the Broncos, I think he could get that team in the playoffs next year. But my second team, I'm going to say the Detroit Lions. Look at how they're playing. Most teams are nervous that if this team gets into the playoffs, they are on a roll and they are one of the hottest teams going down the stretch. They just beat the Packers. I think this is going to continue. They have a great offensive line, a lot of good young pieces, explosive receiver in Brown and Jameson Wilson, nice, great running backs in DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, and a very talented defense that's led by Aiden Hutchinson. I love him, and I think he's going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Dan Campbell has this young team playing hard. So those are my two teams, Denver and Detroit. K-Walk, what are your two teams?
Yeah, I had 4 because I figured as much you guys would take at least 2 of my teams. So my top 2 were the Lions and the Steelers, but I'll go a different route here. I also got the Patriots there as well. I think, if Bill Belichick, I think Mac Jones is the quarterback, their franchise quarterback going forward. I just think that they have to get the offensive coordinator situation figure it out. We had defensive guys, calling offense. We had Belichick calling the offensive plays. You're not going to win that way, but they still had a chance to get into the playoffs as well. So if they can get that offensive coordinator situation figured out, I think we're going to see them in the playoffs and, making some serious noise in the AFC East as well. So I like them there. Also, another team, I got the Commanders, man. I really like the Commanders and what they do on defense as well. Chase Young, he came back, and the latter part of the season with that ACL injury. I think you give him a year under, a year with that defense with Ron Rivera. They got to get that quarterback situation figured out as well. You got Heineke. You don't know what's going on there. Carson Wentz. I think this offseason they get a quarterback. I think they go after Derek Carr, and I think they get this figured out and ultimately make a run at the East because they had an opportunity. They were right on the cusp as well as making the playoffs. That NFC East had a chance to get all 4 teams in the playoffs. So I like to, since you guys stole my first 2, I'm gonna go with the Patriots and the Commanders.
Guys, I know this was not a part of our list, but K-Walk, you just brought it up. Do y'all think Carson Wentz will be on a team next year?
Somewhere.
It doesn't matter who answers.
I think he'll be on a team. I don't know that he's a starter anymore in the NFL.
Definitely not.
But I could certainly see him being a backup somewhere for sure.
Man, I feel like I don't know. I don't know if it's a lack of talent or just his mental. I feel like it's more mental than anything because you letting backups beat you. And to me, that's not good. Because to my mind, Tyler Heineke, that's his name.
Yeah. Taylor Heineke, yeah.
He's talented, but to me, I see him as a backup quarterback. He's not a starter in this league. It is what it is. I said it. So if you can't beat out Tyler Heineke, you're in trouble, sir. You're in trouble. But hey, you still got some checks left to come. A nice pretty check that's sitting at your table, but that might be the only good contract you get. But anyway, all right, guys. So we're going to move on because this weekend, as we know, the NFL playoffs start. And yes, 2 of the 3 teams that we root for, no, actually only 1, I apologize, is on the bye week. My bad. I don't know why I thought the 49ers were the Chiefs, but it was between the Eagles and the 49ers, of course. So my team is the only team on a bye week. One other team to me is fantastic. The other I'm still questioning.
It's the second shot she's fired tonight.
I don't know. She might be taking a shot at me. I don't know. She might be taking a shot at all of my guys. I don't know.
I didn't say no. I didn't say any teams.
Right?
It could have been my own. You don't know. But no. So we have the NFC and the AFC. So we're going to do some NFC and AFC wildcard round predictions for this weekend. And we're going to start with the NFC. So first, we have Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers, K-Walk's 49ers on Saturday, January 14th at 4:30 p.m. Who do you think will win this game? Jay, I'm coming to you first.
I think San Fran wins the game. I think San Fran is, to me, probably the most complete team in the NFC. I think that defense, Brock Purdy's playing really well. And I just don't think I think Seattle has overachieved this year, but their season ends this weekend. San Francisco definitely wins this game.
Yeah, for me, San Francisco. I just wanted the Packers to win just to hopefully get a little competition.
May have been more interesting, right?
A little bit more interesting. It would really shock me if Seattle does really much of anything on Saturday. But I and I'll give a score. I think it's going to be like 32-13. I think it's going to be a blowout. But
Sounds about right.
This is your team. Who you got?
All right, man. Look, I don't want to jinx my team, so yeah, but I'm still going to pick them nonetheless. Yeah, I just like the way that they're playing right now. Their secondary kind of made me nervous in that Raiders game and in the first half of the Cardinals game this past Sunday, but they shut them out in the second half. They got everything rectified there. You got a Seattle team that is coming in, like Jay mentioned, they're overachieving. Geno Smith is playing really well. They're still going to come in. They're a division rival. So they're going to come in there, guns blazing, if you will. They're going to play like they have nothing to lose. And the 49ers got to be scared of a team like that, because when the Raiders actually came in there, I mean, they had something to play for, the Raiders, but, that whole situation with Derek Carr, they kind of let down, if you will, and then it wound up being a 37-34 game. So I think Kyle Shanahan and DeMeco Ryans gets those guys going on both sides of the ball. I think they know that the real season starts right now. So hopefully they can stay focused and continue to do what they do. They've been doing in the last 10 weeks. Brock Purdy continue to do what he's doing. But I do like the 49ers to win this game. I got 33-20, and that's just a fan in me, ladies and gentlemen. But I mean, not the fan in me. That's not the fan in me looking on the outside. Look, me being a fan, me being a fan of this team, man, and liking this team and loving this team. I'm very nervous for sure. But on the outside looking, I'm going to say 49ers 33-20.
I just don't know what Seattle's offensive line is going to do against that front seven. I don't know what they're going to do against the 49ers front seven. We've seen it in the one game, but like you said, K-Walk, it's the playoffs, and you just never know what can happen.
Right.
All right, next game, New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. This game is on Sunday, January 15th at 4:30 p.m. K-Walk, what's your prediction for this game?
Again, we talked about this Vikings team, and we just don't know what Vikings team is going to show up. Last week they kind of struggled in the beginning of the game against Chicago, or this past Sunday, with a Justin Fields-less Bears team. Again, I don't know what we're going to get with this Vikings team, but I do know what we're going to get with the Giants team. They were able to rest Daniel Jones, and more importantly, they were able to rest Saquon Barkley, and I think that's huge. I think that's a big move by Coach Dable there to do that, because they weren't playing for anything, and they still had a chance, and they still had a chance to go out there and beat the Eagles, and they gave them a run for their money there. So with that being said, I'm going to take the Giants here. I'm taking the Giants on the road in Minnesota, 28-24. I think they get it done. I think they're a hard-nosed team. They're one of those teams that you have to bring your lunch pail to each and every game in order to beat these guys. And I think the Vikings are going to. I think they're going to. I think they're going to lay an egg here. I think they're going to lay an egg. So I'm going with the Giants here.
Yeah, this one is so back and forth, because I think the Vikings, rated 31st of 32 NFL teams when it comes to overall defense. Mm-hmm. That's not good. The Giants, Brian Daboll, to me, who's coach of the year, because he is literally went to the playoffs with nobody. They may have 3 or 4 good starters that can start for other teams. Everybody else is very questionable. I think I'm in agreement with you, K-Walk. For some reason, I just think the Giants may pull this one out. Just don't know what Vikings team you're going to get. Are you going to get the Vikings team that played against the Colts? It was the Colts, right? Where they came back and made history. Yeah, the Colts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or you're going to get the Vikings team that got destroyed against was it the Packers that destroyed them? I can't remember. I think it was the Packers.
No, it was the Cowboys. Cowboys.
No, the latest one. The latest
one.
Oh. I think it was I could have sworn it was the Packers that just destroyed them. I have to look it up, but you just don't know what you're going to get. And I just like the Giants' consistency towards the end of the season. I'm going with the Giants, but Jay, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I see where you guys are coming from, but I think I'm going the other way here. The Vikings, yes, they've been up and down a little bit. Yes, they've had some ugly games, but they've won a lot of football games over
Mhm.
17 weeks in the NFL, a very competitive NFL. So I really think they deserve some credit for that. I don't think the Giants are really setting the world on fire. They finished third in the NFC East. I like the Vikings here at home, tough place to play. I think Minnesota gets it done. I agree, K Walk. It's going to be close, but I like the Vikings in like a 31-24 type game.
I will say this. I think this is a closer matchup than that 49ers Seattle game.
I agree.
Um, and then last but certainly not least for the NFC, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Bucks. This game is Monday, January 16th at 8:15. K-Walk, who you got winning this game?
You know, I don't. Oh my god, I don't know with the Cowboys.
This was
I can't
hard.
put my finger. I can't put my finger on the Cowboys, and I know the Buccaneers. They have Tom Brady, but I like Jay said. I think that his demise is right there. The way that the Cowboys looked last week or Sunday, I don't know what this is a tough one for me. So with that being said, since they're at home, I'm going to take Tampa Bay 27-21 here. This is literally a coin toss for me. I'm taking 27-21 because I'm using that score because I just think that it'll be a late touchdown by the Buccaneers. I think that connection between Brady and Mike Evans is going to be the difference in this game. I don't trust Dak. I just don't trust Dak in this situation. That game against the Commanders, he literally threw, well, not literally, but he almost threw two back-to-back passes. Could have been pick sixes. So, I mean, I just don't understand. I don't know what Dak sees. And I try to give Dak the benefit of the doubt, but I just don't know. So based off of that, I'm going Buccaneers 27-21.
This one is hard for me. I don't know which way to go. It's like you never
Yeah.
want to go against Tom Brady from years
Right.
past.
That's so throw that in
But
there
he's
too.
also but he's also not the Tom Brady from years past. He's a little bit of a different Tom Brady. This is a little bit of a different team. But they are kind of made for the playoffs. It seems like when the playoffs come around, that's when this team steps up a little bit more. Leonard Fournette, he's seems to be nowhere until playoff time comes. I'm still gonna go with the Cowboys. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than what people thought. I don't think the Cowboys are gonna allow what happened the first game of the season to happen again. I think they'll get into their heads. Let's put it in Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott's hands. Let's run this football because the Bucks are not great in run defense whatsoever. And minimize as many touches as possible, as many throws as possible for Dak, because right now Dak is just not seeing the field like he used to. I'm still going to go. Now, the concern is the opposite side of Trayvon Diggs on the defense. That is a big concern, that corner spot. I think they'll figure it out. But I think this will be a close game. I'm going to say 24-21 Cowboys. Jay, this is your temporary team. What you got? Who you got?
It's tough. I mean, after watching on Sunday, you kind of come out of that thing with a lot more questions than answers about the Cowboys. But I almost feel like in a way, after playing really bad on Sunday, you got to believe that they're going to come out and play a much better game this weekend. And I know it's Tom Brady. I know it's Tampa Bay. I know they're at home, but I don't really believe in that Buccaneers offense. I know they hit a couple of big ones over the top this weekend, and it looks like maybe that they're getting some rhythm, but they've struggled all year to really score the football consistently. So I'm just not convinced they're going to be able to score enough points to beat the Cowboys. So I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one. They got to win. I mean, they have to win. It's a game they absolutely have to win, or it's just going to be the same thing over and over and over again. So the Cowboys got to find a way to get it done. I think they will. Give me Dallas like 31-28.
Ooh,
I'll take the
that
Cowboys.
Oh, so you're saying a high scoring
Whoa.
game?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. I will say this. I will give Dallas credit. Every game they have lost, usually that next game they come back and blow somebody out. It's like they get into their heads like, hey, we got to get it together. So they lost against the Washington Commanders. Commanders. So let's see what happens. Let's see what they do against the Bucks. But before we get into the AFC, I do have a question I'm gonna throw in between there. Since we're talking about the NFC right now, who in the NFC wild card, which game is more likely to have an upset? So in 3 games, the what do you call it? The predicted winner or the whatever is usually the stronger team. So it'd be 49ers, Vikings, and I think the Cowboys, right? It's not an upset, so it'll be the Cowboys. Who is more like which game is more likely to have an upset? Jay, I'm coming to you first.
That's a tough one. I mean, I don't think the 49ers are going to lose. So you really boil down to those other 2 games. And I don't even feel like if the Vikings were to lose to the Giants, that doesn't really feel like that much of an upset. So I feel like just because the Cowboys are the Cowboys and everyone in America is going to be watching, if they lose that game, it's going to be a problem. So I'm going to say that one could be the most likely upset, just because, like you guys said, it's Tom Brady, it's the Bucks, it's the Cowboys. They've been known to come up short in situations like this. So if I had to pick a game, I'd say Cowboys, Bucks, most likely upset.
Okay, well,
yeah, I don't consider that to be. I know I had coin flip. I don't consider that to be an upset.
Doesn't really feel like that much of one, right?
No. So yeah, I feel like you, Jay. As much as I love my Niners, I mean, I'm still going to say I don't foresee them losing that game. So I'm going to say the Giants. I picked the Giants to beat the Vikings. So I think the Vikings are favored. They're at home. So I'm going to say the Giants are the team, or the Giants Vikings game is the one that's most likely to be an upset there, because I did pick the Giants to win that game. So I'm gonna stay consistent and say the Giants and Vikings.
Look, Cowboys fans, okay, I'm gonna need y'all to beat the Bucks, because as the Eagles, I don't want to go against. This is like I said this last week. Okay, our relationship with Tom Brady ain't it, so I don't want to deal with Tom Brady in our house, in his house, whatever house. I just don't want to play him. Okay, so I need y'all to win. Don't let me down. Okay, you didn't let me down in the middle of the season when I asked for y'all to beat. I forgot what team it was. You didn't let me down, so please don't let me down again. All right, I would greatly appreciate it, Cowboys.
You sure you want to see them boys, Britt? You sure you want to see them boys?
I want to see the game.
Are you sure you want to see them Eagles the way Dak has been playing lately?
We got boys.
That's his new nickname. Big Six Dak. Big Six Dak. No, but no, for me, the more likely upset would be the Giants at the Vikings. The Vikings are the favorite. They have the more explosive offense. Defense is still questionable, but they do have some talent on that side. Patrick Peterson. I think Anthony Barr. Is Anthony Barr with them? I don't know. But they have talent on the defensive side as well. Need to get it together on the defensive side. But I just think this Giants team is something different. Brian Daboll really got these young boys playing, and they're playing hard. And if the Vikings are not paying attention, they will get beat by this Giants team. But all right, guys, let's switch over to the AFC, and then we'll head into break, and Jay will take over. So for the AFC wildcard round, we have the first game we have is San Diego Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game is Saturday, January 14th at 8:15 p.m. I'm going to go first on this one. Why did I go first on this one? This one's actually a little tough for me. Justin Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence. You know what? I'm going with the Jaguars. I like this Jaguars team. Doug Peterson really has this team playing very, very well. And we laughed at Christian Kirk when they gave him that contract. I know I did.
Still ain't earned it.
I still don't think he did. But they're winning. And they made it. They did good enough to make it to the playoffs. ETN is playing very well. Trevor Lawrence is playing much better. I know last year we questioned whether he will be the future of the Jaguars. Doug Peterson went in there, worked things out with him. They figured things out, and now he's looking like the first-round pick that we wanted him to look like, and they're playing very well. That defense plays as hard as they can. The San Diego Chargers, I said Justin Herbert, right? Yeah. I don't know if I trust this team. That's my thing. I just don't know if I trust this team in key moments. So that is why I'm going with the Jaguars. But Jay, who do you have?
Yeah, this is a total just fan pick for me. I like the Jaguars. I like watching them. They're a fun team to watch. So I hope they win because I enjoy watching them. I haven't watched a lot of Chargers football this year. I couldn't really tell you a whole bunch about that football team. So I'm taking Jacksonville. I just want them to win. So I'm taking Jacksonville. They play good defense. I think they can maybe get it done. So give me the Jaguars in a close one.
I will say Mike Williams has been playing since he's been back. He's healthy. He's been playing very, very, very well. Along with Keenan Allen, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. So, K-Walk, who do you have?
Yeah, I have a soft spot for the Jags because back in 1998 they called me to come into their mini camp. So at the draft day, so I always had a soft spot for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So with that being said, I'm like you, Jay. It's a coin flip for me. So I'm going to go Jaguars here, 24-23. Everything you mentioned, Britt, about Trevor Lawrence. I think the main thing what clicked with Trevor Lawrence is I think there was a big question mark going into whether he wanted to play football anymore. Because he had so many opportunities to do so many different things. And a lot of people were questioning his love for the game, but he's starting to show that he has the love for the game. And obviously he has the talent. I like NTN as well. I like Zay Jones. And Evan Ingram has found a new life there in Jacksonville after leaving New York, the Giants there. You mentioned, I think the biggest thing, the loss for the Chargers is Palmer, man. I think Palmer, number 5, the receiver there, he went down with that knee injury. So let's see how he's going to perform. I don't even think he's going to be playing. But you mentioned Mike Williams, Britt, and you mentioned Keenan Allen, and obviously you got Herbert and Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is just a phenomenal player, man. He'll get you, he can get you 50 yards and 50 yards receiving and 100 yards rushing as well. So he's just a yards from scrimmage guy. But with all that being said, I still like the Jags because they're at home. And again, I do have a soft spot for them. And I like the way that Doug Peterson is working with Trevor Lawrence, like you mentioned, Britt. So I'm going Jags here, 24-23.
You almost caused me to switch my pick because you said Austin Eckler, and I forgot how great he's been playing this year. But I'm gonna stick with the Jags because I got to support Doug Peterson. Like, come on, Dougie P, pull through. All right. All right, next game. We have the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills next Sunday at this Sunday at 1 p.m. K-Walk, who you got?
Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah, this is an easy one for me. I'll keep it short. I'm going with the Bills 21-10. I just don't you don't have a quarterback. You don't know who that quarterback is. I know you got the rookie that went out there on Sunday. Without Tua or even Teddy Two Gloves not being there, I think it's going to be rough for the Dolphins, especially going into Buffalo. At this time of the year, it can get pretty cold there in Miami, guys. So I'm going to go with I think Josh Allen gets it. They're still playing for my guy here, man. Shout out to my man Damar Hamlin right there. Yeah, so shout out to him. Released from the hospital, man, and back in Buffalo. Prayers, hey guys, prayers work, man. Prayers work. They really do. So with that being said, I still think they're going to use that as added motivation for sure. So I'm taking Bills 21-10 here.
I'm gonna make this quick. I don't know if Tua is playing, even if he is playing.
No, he's not playing. He's not cleared.
Yeah,
he's not cleared.
Oh, so he's not playing. So that's really not enough.
I don't think he should play anyway. Yeah. In my opinion,
that's really not enough to overcome this dominant Buffalo Bills team. And the Buffalo Bills are playing for Damar. I know everybody in the league is playing for Damar, but that is his team. Those are his brothers, his boys on his team. They're really going to go out and play hard for him. So with the talent plus that on top, I don't think Miami has a chance. I'm going with the Bills, and I'm going to say the game's going to be 30-21. Jay?
Yeah, I think if both teams were fully healthy, this might have been a fun game to watch, like kind of the games were earlier in the season. But without Tua, I don't think the Dolphins have a chance. On the road, like you talked about Damar, both of you guys, like it just feels like the perfect storm for Buffalo to just roll all over Miami. So I don't think this one's going to be really close. I could see it like 33-10, something like that. So yeah, Miami's in trouble for sure.
Yeah, I did that 21 for the garbage time points, guys. But all right, And last game, then we're going to head into break. We have the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. That game is this Sunday at 8:15 p.m. Jay, I'm coming to you first. Who you got?
Yeah, it's interesting because we don't really know who's going to be playing quarterback for Baltimore this weekend either, but I'm not sure that it really matters. I mean, Cincinnati is on a roll. I think they've won 8 games in a row. They're playing some really good football there. I mean, they might just find themselves back in the Super Bowl. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on Cincinnati a little bit. So, look, I don't think the Ravens have a chance in this game. I like Cincinnati 31-17. Bengals win comfortably.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. First of all, Lamar Jackson playing?
Don't know. It doesn't look like it though.
It does not look like it at all. We don't know. I think it was his knee that he hurt. We don't know how his it was his knee, right?
Yeah.
We don't know how his knee is feeling. So odds are he won't be playing. And as we know, that team without Lamar Jackson, they don't do very much whatsoever. Cincinnati is now healthy. They're back to playing how they were playing towards the end of last year. Like Jay said, when they got to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the Super Bowl this year because they are the only team who can consistently beat those Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going to say the game will be 28-17. But K-Walk, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it unanimous. I mean, they just played each other Sunday, so they know each other very well. So, with that being said, I still don't think I think the outcome is going to be the same. I just don't think the Ravens have what they need at the quarterback position to get it done. Even though Dobbins is back, is he back? I think he was at him. But anyway, I just don't think Brown has enough to overcome this offense and this team and the way that Burrow and Chase are clicking right now. You obviously got Tyler Boyd, Mixon, T. Higgins. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, and they're at home as well. And like Jay mentioned, they're hot right now at the right time. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see them back in the Super Bowl either. So with that being said, I'm going Bengals 24-14.
All right, guys, those are our predictions. If you want, let us know in our comments. Or put in the comments what your predictions are, and we will try to respond to it as much as possible. We're going to try to start highlighting your comments because we appreciate the support. And again, we're on the road to 250 subscribers. So please subscribe, like, comment, and share our YouTube channel to help us. And we appreciate your support. But we are going to head into our first break. And then when we come back, Jay will take over for some more fun. And my Sixers are up right now. Thank goodness. Granted, they playing the Detroit Pistons, but hey, they're still winning right now.
Worst team in the league.
Hey, a win is a win. But you guys are listening to or watching. I'm sorry. You guys are watching the Sideline Speaks with myself, Britne Jones, alongside Jason Collins and Kevin Walker right here on Never Had It So Good Sports Media Network.
CampLyman.com is an opportunity for my big boys to come get some work. Let's put it all together. We built from the ground up. Our cliche is it all starts up front. Once again, start, stance, hand placement, hand separation, get-offs, counter moves, a little bit of everything. Polish up those skills before your middle school or high school season began. Just come work on your craft. Once again, CampLyman.com.
You're inside Never Had It So Good Sports Radio with Princess Cooper, Tim Moore, David the Duck Riley, Jason Collins, Shoshana Cook, Britne Jones, Travis McGee, Eric Scott, and Kevin Walker. We make it easy to talk sports.
All right, welcome back to the Sideline Speaks. Britne Jones, Kevin Walker, and Jason Collins. Stick around, guys. We're going to talk about that national championship game last night, if you could even call it that. We got to talk about KD getting injured. That's big for my Brooklyn Nets. But I want to stay on football just for a second here, guys, because we just talked about the Ravens. We all picked them to lose this weekend. There's a lot of attention swirling around Lamar Jackson, his contract, his not contract. Is he coming back to Baltimore? Are they going to move off of him and go in a different direction? Will they franchise him? Just a lot of conversation around Lamar Jackson. So what I want to do, guys, I want to play a game of take your pick. This is going to be Lamar Jackson versus other quarterbacks in the league. And honestly, I didn't even put in the people that I thought wouldn't even be a question, like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. I don't think anyone would make those trades. Maybe I'm wrong. So I kind of went with what I would consider some upper mid tier guys to see if you would take Lamar or these quarterbacks on my list.
Jay, can we please put the disclaimer out? You did not let us know who these people are.
That is true. I did not tell you these guys ahead of time. So this is all right off the top of their heads. Not a lot of time to think about it. But Britt, I want to start in Philly. Let's I know the money doesn't necessarily always work, but let's just assume this is just a straight up trade for trade. If you're the Eagles and the Ravens call and say, you give us Jalen, we'll give you Lamar. You making that trade, Britt?
Do I have to go first?
You gotta go first.
This one is hard because you see the progress Jalen has made. He's doing very well. Accuracy is better. He's starting to learn how to throw his receivers open. He's seeing the field well. He moves well. Lamar has a better arm. Lamar, sometimes decision making is not there. Oh, I love Lamar Jackson. I'm gonna stick with Jalen Hurts, and I'll tell you why. I love, first of all, if he is a young player, it's more intangibles than tangibles. It's more his leadership in the locker room and what he does for the other players surrounding him. You've seen what happened when Gardner Minshew came into the game. He didn't even have that same impact on his team. And I'm not even talking about on the field. I'm talking about off the field. When Jalen's on the field, off the field, he just has a different impact on this team. Not only that, Lamar gets hurt a lot every single year where he's missing a lot of games. So I'm gonna stick with Jalen because I do see Jalen he's going to continue to progress because he put so much hard work behind it. I'm gonna stick with Jalen Hurts, and this was not an easy decision, guys. So don't be calling me out in the comments. I'm sticking with Jalen Hurts.
It's kind of easy for me. It really is. Like, I'm sticking with Jalen Hurts. I'm not even really thinking about it that much. I mean, the way that Hurts played this year, you have to assume he's going to be at least as good or better going forward. And look, I think he's playing great football, winning football. So if I'm the Eagles, I would not make that trade. I'm keeping Jalen Hurts over Lamar.
This is why it was difficult, because what happened if you put an A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the Ravens? Right now, the Ravens have nothing, so Lamar thinks he has to do, or he does have to do everything in order for them to win. If you put those weapons around Lamar, it might be a little bit different situation. But I agree with you. I'm still sticking with Jalen.
That's a fair point. I agree. That is a very fair point. If you give Lamar that kind of talent, are we talking about a completely different story? That's kind of making me think about my decision, but I think I'm going to stay with Jalen. K-Walk, you going the other way on this one?
Absolutely. If you like, Britne stole everything I was going to say. It's basically, if you give Lamar, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard, and that running game as well with Miles Sanders and Boston, I think it's a no-brainer, especially even with that offense. It's not a Greg Roman offense that he's running right now in Baltimore, but in that Sirianni offense for sure. I think Lamar shines. I think he's a little bit better. He's more seasoned, obviously, than Jalen. Nothing to take away from Jalen Hurts, ladies and gentlemen, by any stretch. I'm not trying to downplay that. I know how you Eagles guys, you Eagles fans can come at me when I see something. You know, you guys just
we know how they can
be. Yes, absolutely. 49ers fans are similar.
Absolutely.
When you get 49ers chats, they be the same way.
No, I'm just saying. Every time I say something about, I try to, I pick one guy over an Eagles guy, and then all of a sudden I'm just disrespecting the Eagle guy. I'm not doing that at all. But yeah, I would take Lamar for sure. Over there. This was a no-brainer for me. I think he's faster than Jalen. I think he does have a better arm, like Britne mentioned as well. And if you surround him with all those weapons we mentioned, I think you pick up the phone if you're the Eagles and say, yeah. So what else do you want?
I think I think what gets it though for me is the intangibles, his leadership.
Yeah,
this guy is like this. Jalen's like a seasoned vet when you see him in a press conference, but his team believes it and feels it, and so does he, and that's what won me over with him. He got that former President Obama charisma. Believe whatever you say.
It's interesting. I think the injuries, because I do worry about that with Lamar and the amount of hits that he continues to take year after year. But it's interesting. I think I'm gonna stick with Jalen, but K-Walk, you were convincing, man. I almost flipped my pick here.
It's a close one.
It's close.
Now let me ask you this question. Whose offense is Lamar running? Is he running Greg Roman's offense in Baltimore, or is he running Sirianni's offense in Philly?
So if he goes to Philly, he would be running the Philly offense.
So the risk of the injuries would go down.
True.
In my opinion, he wouldn't run the ball as much. He wouldn't run the ball as much.
No.
In Greg Roman's offense, you have to run the ball with Lamar does. He does. I'm not saying he doesn't have to run the ball in Sirianni's offense. I'm saying he doesn't have to run it as much.
Okay. I got what you're saying. Yeah, because they are a pass happy offense, which I'm not going to say my rant right now. That's part of my rant. So we'll move on.
All right. Let's go to Chicago, K-Walk. Justin Fields, to me, looked like a guy that started figuring it out those last few weeks. I think the ceiling is really, really high for Justin Fields. Give him another year or two. I think he's going to be a really, really good quarterback in the NFL. If you're the Bears and they give that call, they say, you give us Fields, we'll send you Lamar. Are you making that deal, K-Walk?
No, I'm not. I like Fields better than I like Lamar. I'm sorry, guys. My light keep going out here. I'm on bad. I do like Fields a little bit better than I like Lamar. Reason being because he runs smarter than Lamar. I know Lamar is in a situation. Excuse me, guys. My light keep going out here. We got to charge that. But nonetheless, I think Justin Fields is a better overall quarterback than Lamar right now. He's young as well. I know it's kind of going against what I said, again for Jalen Hurts, but I do like Justin Fields better than I like Lamar because I just don't like Lamar running as much. I mean, Lamar in this offense, and this who's I forget who the offensive coordinator is for the Bears, but I do like the offense that they run there. Justin Fields does run a lot, but he runs smarter than Lamar. So I'm going Justin Fields here, man. I definitely like him, man. I love his arm. I love the way sometimes, not sometimes, but a lot of times he doesn't take that unnecessary hit. He doesn't run. He sometimes he uses his legs to buy more time, to extend the play. Not so much to get down the field, but to use his legs to run. Even though he does it a lot, but he does it effectively. He does it really smart. I think with Lamar, I don't think he can do that with this offense. So I know I'm sounding contradictory here, ladies and gentlemen, because but I do like them. I'm basing it off the fact that I like Justin Fields better than I like any of these young quarterbacks right now, including.
Hey, Walk, I don't think you're crazy, man. I'm keeping Justin Fields as well. I really think he has a big upside. You watch him those last couple weeks, he was really starting to figure it out. And this is with not a lot of talent around him. That offensive line really couldn't protect him, and he's making things happen. I think in a couple of years, we might be talking about him as one of the best quarterbacks in football. I'm keeping Justin Fields. Britt, subliminally, that means K-Walk took Justin Fields over Jalen Hurts.
I did.
That's why I said,
but what say you, Britt? Where are you going on this one?
Not subliminally. I'm going to tell you straight up.
Yeah, just straight up.
But everything you say, he runs smarter. Jalen runs smarter. Who has better intangibles? Jalen has better intangibles. Who's more accurate? Jalen's more accurate. Who runs their offense?
Who has the better weapons?
Who has the
better weapons?
Okay, so you put AJ. So Justin Fields as accurate as Jalen Hurts right now?
Yeah,
they around the same age.
I think so. So that doesn't have to do with age. He's just accurate. He's just accurate. Okay.
Justin Fields is more accurate than Jalen Hurts.
Yes, I believe so.
I
believe so.
And
who does he have to throw to?
And part of what you're saying too, K-Walk, is if he was playing in that offense, right?
Yes, that's what I'm
with those Eagles weapons.
Yes, you give him.
I think Justin Fields
y'all to go
really
back.
Good.
I like Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields in the future will be a very great quarterback. But right now, he is not more accurate than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has been dropping dimes all season long. Unbelievable dimes. Some dimes better. Some will compare to almost, he's not Patrick Mahomes, but just as good as Patrick Mahomes. Like, he has been dropping dimes. Justin Fields has been all over the place. If he can run, he's going to take off running. He's an unbelievable runner. He still got to prove it as far as accuracy. We already know he got a strong arm, but strong arm in the NFL means nothing. It really means nothing. We have seen that time and time again. But in this case, I think Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson at this moment are basically the same type of player. So I'm going to go, if Lamar Jackson is healthy and has these receivers, he's a former MVP, and he's still only about 25 years old. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, I'm just going off of the ceiling. I just feel like Fields might have a higher ceiling. I really do.
We don't know Lamar's ceiling because, like you keep saying, he don't have the team around him right now.
He doesn't, but his team is better than Justin's team right now. The Bears are awful, and Justin Fields is really figuring it out, I think. But anyway, let's move on. I don't want to get stuck on this one because I got like 3 or 4 more. All right, Britt, Jacksonville. The Bears call about Trevor Lawrence. Not the Bears. The Ravens call about Trevor Lawrence. They want to send Lamar. You got to give up Trevor Lawrence. You making that deal?
No, I think I'm gonna keep Lamar. I'm keeping Lamar on this one. I like Trevor Lawrence, but I'm keeping Lamar on this
you're
one.
keeping. So if you're
you're
Jacksonville, are you giving up Trevor Lawrence for Lamar?
I'm trading for Lamar on this one.
Okay.
I just think like he's more of a seasoned vet, like K-Walk was saying when he said with Jalen Hurts, he's more of a seasoned vet. I think we keep knocking Lamar primarily because he stays hurt all the time and we don't see him a lot on the field. But if he is healthy, he is definitely a top 10 quarterback, maybe even top 5, maybe if not right outside that top 5. So I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson, especially with they're in the playoffs. I think Lamar gets them closer to the championship, not the Super Bowl yet.
I'm gonna come off like a Lamar Jackson hater in this segment. Wow. I really am.
Wow.
But I'm keeping Trevor Lawrence if I'm Jacksonville.
Young, promising quarterback.
I just think his ceiling is higher. I think if we project these guys 5 years down the road, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be playing really, really well. And I'm not sure what Lamar Jackson's going to be 5 years from now. I'm really not. And I should probably say that I was never really on the Lamar Jackson train. I was always a little bit skeptical, but I don't think I would give up a talent like Trevor Lawrence for Lamar Jackson. I'm just not sure that there's enough gap in between those two guys to make that trade. But K-Walk, break the tie here, man. What are you doing in this situation?
Here's where I can't show my face in Philly right now. What's that?
I said the reason why your light keeps going out. But go ahead.
Oh, right. I know, right? I'm saying right now, right after this, man, I don't think I can show my face in Philly for quite some time, man.
We off the Jalen Hurts train. It's between my
answer is going to be like my all right. I'm taking Trevor Lawrence. I'm keeping Trevor Lawrence. I'm keeping Trevor Lawrence because of the fact of the matter is, like everything Jay said, I think his ceiling is a little higher. He's starting to focus on the game. He can run. He doesn't have to run, but he can run when he needs to. And I think he has a better arm. I think he's more accurate than Lamar. And yes, I said it, ladies and gentlemen, he's more accurate than Lamar. And I think he's more. I think he's the best fit for that team for sure, man. I think he's in the perfect situation. And once he started to focus on the game itself and started to love the game, I think that's when he took off. So I'm hanging up the phone if Baltimore calls for about Lamar.
All right, good stuff there. All right, 2 more, guys. Let's roll through these. K-Walk, you're in Cleveland. The Ravens call. They want to go straight up to Deshaun Watson for Lamar Jackson. You giving up Deshaun for Lamar?
I'm keeping Deshaun. I'm keeping Deshaun. I'm Cleveland, right? I'm keeping Deshaun. I think that we've seen Deshaun. I know he's rusty. He's back. He's back, but he was rusty. I think you started to see some of that rust fall off.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the season. I think you surround him. You get him. A couple guys. He got a good running game there, but he needs a couple more receivers there for sure. So yeah, I like Deshaun over. I like Deshaun over Lamar. So I'm keeping Deshaun.
I agree with you. I think Deshaun Watson at his best is better than Lamar Jackson at his best. I think Deshaun Watson, like people were talking about him as the best quarterback in football before this whole debacle happened. I
agree.
You're right. He's rusty right now, but you can see that rust slowly start to fade away. So I think he's going to be really good next year. I'm not giving him up for Lamar. Britt, where are you going on this one?
Deshaun Watson. Like, is there any questions about it? I'm going with Deshaun Watson. Did we not see what he was prior to his whole mishap, or what? I don't want to call it mishap. That's the wrong word. This whole situation that went down with, he was, like you said, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Is he better than Patrick Mahomes? I don't know about that, but he's at least right behind him when he's at his best. And yes, I still think Lamar is better than the Trevor Lawrence and the Justin Fields right now. Okay, got it. Now let's move on.
All right, Britt, let's stay in Dallas here. The quarterback of America's team, Dak Prescott. The Ravens call Jerry Jones and they say, look, I'll give you Lamar, you give up Dak. You making that trade, Britt?
K-Walk, you go first. I feel like it's setting me up. K-Walk, go first. I'm not going first on this one. You're setting me up.
This is not a setup. It's just an honest question. It's just an honest question. Go ahead, K-Walk.
I feel like you're setting me up.
Brittany I don't need time. Because she's been dogging Dak out. But I think deep down inside, she wants to pick Dak on this one. But K-Walk, go ahead. Let's let Britt think about it. Go ahead, K-Walk.
All right, cool. Yeah, Jay, I after this past weekend,
be honest, K-Walk. Don't be.
Why would I have?
Because Jay's your homeboy since we were kids.
That ain't got nothing. That ain't got nothing to do with my answer. I always be me.
I know this situation. We here. Right, I think we here.
Oh no, this is a no-brainer, Brent. This is no no-brainer. I'm taking Lamar over Dak real quick, man. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I just don't know what we're going to get with Dak, man. Dak is seeing ghosts out there, Jay. I'm sorry, Cowboy fans, but 2 straight pick sixes. I mean, if you really wanted to dial it up, I mean, that could have been easily 2 straight pick sixes. I know that wouldn't really happen, but he threw the same ball at the same spot against the same guy. And the only difference was that he dropped the first one. That's the D-bag dropped the first one. Yeah. I'm taking, I just don't know what it is with Dak. I don't know what it is with Dak. But I'm taking Lamar. I think Lamar in this offense can get it done. Dak can run a little bit. We've seen that. He's got 2 good running backs in Zeke and Pollard, and he's got Lamb and he's got Schultz as his tight end, and he's got Noah Brown. You put Lamar in this offense, man. I think Lamar strives. He doesn't make the mistakes that Dak will make. So I'm going Lamar for sure, Jay. I'm sorry, brother. Or Cowboys fans. Sorry.
Britt, where are you going? Come on, Britt.
Said it for me. I got to give a response. He said it for me. You trying to get these Cowboys fans to be at my DMs again. They attacked me. No, but I got to go with Lamar. I'm trading for Lamar. Like Lamar with a CeeDee Lamb, Lamar with Tony Pollard and Zeke in the backfield. Forget Zeke because he's getting up there in age. Just Tony Pollard. With that offensive line, I know they're not truly healthy. Or they're not really healthy. I know they're going to most likely get a couple pieces next year. They'll probably get a receiver. You put Lamar in that offense, that they're going to the Super Bowl if Lamar is there. They're going to that Super Bowl. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Well, maybe because it still is the Cowboys, so maybe. Dak, you just don't know with Dak, and he frustrates the heck out of you because we all said pay Dak his money after that one season, incredible season he had. Pay Dak his money, but he just goes back and forth, and it's just like, okay. And this year, he's really not seeing the field how you will want for him to see. He's not a bad quarterback, guys. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. maybe could potentially be an even better quarterback. It's just I don't know what's going on with him this year. So right now I'm going with Lamar.
Hey Jay, and I wouldn't even feel the call. I would actually initiate the call if I was the Cowboys.
See,
I'm not waiting for the
Cowboys fans, that wasn't me this time.
When you guys were talking, I was trying to come up with a reason to take Dak. I was trying to come up with something that would be convincing. I can't do it. I can't do it. If I'm being honest, I feel like I gotta take Lamar. I was gonna try to make a case for Dak, but the way the inconsistency that he's been over the last few, I can't make the case. I'm gonna take Lamar, but it's closer for me than it is for you guys. All right, so that wraps up that segment. But just for the record, guys, I definitely want to put this on the record. K-Walk took Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Deshaun Watson over Jalen Hurts.
And
just
Dak
for the
Prescott.
record.
Just for the, and Dak Prescott just for the record.
You didn't throw that in there, no, bro. You didn't throw that in there, no, bro. You see the way he slid it out of that?
He really took him over Dak Prescott, so I don't want to hear that.
All right. There was a college football game played last night, guys. You guys know how much I love college football, and I didn't even watch this whole thing. Georgia just absolutely destroyed TCU. What was it? 65-7? 65-7.
Oh, wait, Jay, just a minute. Georgia just scored again.
Scored again. Yeah. So I don't even know that I really want to talk about the game, but I think a more important question is do you guys think Georgia is the new Alabama? Like, are they going to, like, maybe let's say for the next 7 years or so, they got 2 in a row. If you kind of fast forward over 7 years, like, can they win 3 more, 4 more? Like, are they going to be that new dynasty? Are they going to be what Alabama was to college football? K-Walk, what say you?
That's a great question, Jay. Now, they definitely can. Will they? I can see it, Jay. So I'll say for the sake of the question, I'm gonna say yes, because two back-to-back championships. I mean, that just breeds, attraction to, 4-star, 5-star guys. And then you got the portal out there as well. And what they lost last season, Jay, in the draft, and then to come back into winning the fashion that they did this year, I guess if you're a betting person, you would have to say yes. I mean, I just think that Kirby Smart is doing a better job than Nick Saban, or some people call him Nick Satan. But I think that, they're right there with them, Jay, and I'm going to give the edge to them because of the fact of the matter is they won back-to-back titles, and I think that's going to just attract some of those top guys that are available coming out of high school, coming out of junior college, and then the transfer portal as well. So I'm going to say yes, they will. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, man. When Georgia won last year, I remember making a video saying that I thought they would win a couple more over the next 5 years. And a lot of Georgia fans were like, we probably won't win next year. We're going to be a little young, but we'll be good again, right? So they've kind of stole this one. There weren't a lot of Georgia fans that thought they would win this one after they won last year. Now, obviously, they played on the field and were really good. So this one, they're kind of ahead of schedule. They had a lot of young guys playing last night that are all coming back. And when you look at their schedule, their toughest game is going to be Tennessee, which obviously that's a very winnable game. So they have a great shot of being right back in the college football playoff. I do think Georgia's going to be the new Alabama, so to speak, only because Georgia's been coming for a long time. Like, even if you go back to like the Mark Richt days, Georgia was really close a couple of times, but Alabama found a way to beat them. And now Georgia has broke through, and I just don't think they're going to give it up. Like, Alabama's going to have to come and take it, and Nick Saban's not getting any younger. I just don't know if I can see it happen. Plus, Georgia's just recruiting outstanding.
Yeah.
Like, they are just stockpiling talent on top of talent. So they're going to be hard to beat, man. So I over the next 7 years, I don't think it's unrealistic to say Georgia's going to win 2 or 3 more. So I think they're the new king of college football without a doubt.
Yeah, and you gotta answer yourself this question too. I'm sorry, Britt. Is that both of these teams are losing their quarterback, their starting quarterbacks next year? So we're going to see what that quarterback situation is going to look like next year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Georgia thinks they have a good one, but you never know until you get out on the field. Exactly. Britt, you look a little skeptical. What do you think? Is Georgia the new Alabama?
I'm gonna say no. I think it's going to be more of an even playing field than more people would think. I honestly think Ohio State should have been playing yesterday, but they botched that field goal. And honestly, if Marvin Harrison Jr., we wouldn't be talking about Georgia. If he never got hurt, we wouldn't be talking about Georgia right now. And unfortunately, it's in the past. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's not here in the future anymore. Okay. But if I'm lying, I'm dying, right? So if Marvin Harrison Jr. stays healthy in that game, we're saying something completely different. So I'm going to say no. And like you guys said, all three of those teams will be losing their quarterbacks. CJ Stroud, I believe, is going to enter into the draft. Bryce Young has. And Stetson Bennett, I believe he's also going to enter into the draft as well this year. So we'll see. I think you will also have other teams rising right up behind them that we think are not coming along. And remember, it seems like everybody all of a sudden wants to hit the transfer portal to go right to Colorado. I don't think Colorado is going to be too far behind, too, because of Deion Sanders there. They want Deion Sanders. I know they got maybe a year or two away. So I'm going to say no because of that. And you can never doubt Nick Saban. Yeah, he didn't do it this year. As much as I can't stand Alabama, and I don't like Alabama at all, or Nick Saban, you cannot deny his abilities, his coaching abilities.
Yeah, it's a fair point about Ohio State. I mean, they should have beat Georgia. I mean, they played well enough to win, and it kind of gave it away. But it's funny. One of the things about going undefeated and winning a national championship, like somewhere along the line, you got to get a little bit lucky. Like you really need something to go your way. You need the ball to bounce in your direction. And it happened for Georgia. So that's 2 in a row. I can definitely see them winning a couple of more. So, man, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure. All right, guys, a couple more things before we get out of here. My guy, KD, my Brooklyn Nets. KD goes down, MCL sprain. Looks like he's going to be out 4 weeks. The Nets are playing great right now. I think they're second in the East, but this is obviously a devastating blow to this team. We saw the same thing happen last year, and I think the Nets lost like 15 out of 16 games when KD wasn't there. If that happens this year, I don't know that they can recover from it. Britt, what say you about the KD injury, and can the Nets hold the fort down until KD gets back?
Was Kyrie playing during that time last year?
Probably in and out of the lineup. I don't really remember.
So it was a lot of inconsistency. It wasn't just KD out. Kyrie was in and out. I know he got hurt. It was just so much going on. Ben wasn't playing at all. They didn't have the bench that they have now. I think, let me talk about KD first before I get to the team. I am getting concerned about KD and these injuries. He tore, I think this is the same knee that he messed up. Is this the same knee he sprained last year? I think it's the other
one, but the same kind of injury.
Yeah, okay. So, but then I think he tore his ACL or he did something in his knee in years past. I have to look it up. I believe that's what happened. So now you seem to have these MCL sprains. You're getting older. So that is becoming concerning. The good thing, like you said, he will be back this year. Unfortunately, it is a 4 to 6 week injury. How that impacts the team depends on, to me, Kyrie's play. Can he stay focused while he's out? Can Ben Simmons up his game? Because now you're going to need more from Ben Simmons. There's no, we could score 4 points. There's no, we only could do 6 rebounds and 5 assists and maybe a steal or 2. You really have to up your game. They say could be potentially be defensive player of the year. I disagree. I watched the game. I didn't see that as much as everybody else did, but that's just one person. You really need TJ Warren to step up. You're going to need everybody else surrounding them. Everybody else on the team to really step their game up. I think they will be able to hold on until KD comes back. Will they be the whole 12 game winning streak? No, but I think they could at least go 50-50 or a little bit above. I'm sorry, at least 500, a little bit above 500. I think they could stay that way.
Yeah, that's my goal. If they can just go play 500 ball, I think they'll still be in a pretty good situation when he comes back. And you're right. It's going to take everyone on that bench, and Ben Simmons definitely going to have some more offense out of Ben if they're going to get this thing done. And obviously Kyrie's going to have to continue to play great basketball, which to his credit, he has done. Kyrie has been really, really good this year. But K-Walk, what say you about the injury, and can Brooklyn hold the fort down until KD gets back?
Yeah, tough injury for sure. I didn't think it was that serious when I first saw it, because I was actually watching the game live. It was against my Miami Heat when Jimmy Butler landed on him. I just thought it was just something that, that he could just walk off, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's more serious than that. So him being out for 4 weeks, a month, it's concerning. Britt mentioned to it, alluded to it, excuse me, that, the injury, he's coming off of that injury from last year, other knee. And of course he had that Achilles, the whole situation, some time back. But I think he'll bounce back. He'll be all right. As far as the team goes, I think they're going to be all right, to be honest with you. And they're not going to be the same team, obviously, but I think they're going to be okay. I think they'll be just a little bit better than 500. I think those guys will step up. I mean, I kind of disagree with you, Britt, with Ben Simmons. I don't think Ben Simmons has to step his game up from a scoring standpoint. I know it sounds like that. He has to do it because KD is out, but I think other guys have to do it, like a Seth Curry. I really like Seth Curry. I think he can Seth Curry surprises me. He can actually create his own shots. So I think he could pick up a little bit of the slack there. You mentioned TJ Warren, Britt. There, I just think if you just keep Kyrie being who he is, the scorer that he is. Again, my light goes out, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe
there's a reason behind that.
I know. Yeah, I'm about to say. It's symbolic, right? It's symbolic. But I think Ben Simmons just continue to do what he does. Just be that defensive guy, that rebounder, defensive guy, and allow all those other guys to be who they are. I just think someone else who can score, I think they need to step up their game from a scoring aspect, as opposed to Ben Simmons stepping his game up from a scoring aspect. But I think they'll be all right, Jay, to be honest with you. I think they'll be hovering above 500 by the time he gets back. I don't see them falling off too far, to be honest with you. It is packed right now in the East. So by the time KD gets back, I see them being, in the same spot, maybe fifth at the lowest. That's where I see them at.
Okay.
Here's my thing. Ben Simmons has to step up his game offensively. I'm not asking you to score 20 to 25 points. While he's out, you need to be in that team average somewhere, like 15 points a game.
Yeah,
that's not a lot for a
a
star. He's supposed to be one of the stars on this team. That's not a lot for a star. 15 points a game. That's not a lot, especially with this schedule. Now you get ready to face the Boston Celtics. You're going to have to face the Sixers. You're going to have better competition than you had during that 12 game winning streak that you just went on. You just lost between a 30 to 40 point person. I think the last time I looked, KD dropped like 44 points. You just lost that guy, and that's when he had everybody. So you have to have, as a collective whole, everybody has to step up their game, including Ben Simmons on the offensive side of the ball. So if you're wide open, you can take the shot, because what does that do? Even if you miss it, it opens it up more for Seth Curry, TJ Warren, and whoever else. It makes them have easier shots. But if you're not taking those shots, fine. We just going to make sure we don't have KD to worry about no more. We're going to double Kyrie. We're going to make sure the ball doesn't get to Seth's hands and try to just go 1-up-on-1 against TJ, or maybe try to double him. Then who's left? You can't depend on KD today. So he has to step up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I just hope they can hold the fort down. Like if K-Walk, if you're right, if they're like a 4 or 5 when he comes back, that would be great. I just don't want the bottom to fall out, because if they have to end up playing Boston like in the first round like they did last year, that's not going to be good. So they got to keep themselves in a decent position so they can work their way back up once KD gets back on the floor. So that'll definitely be something to watch. But let's go into our rant, guys. Every week we like to give a 1-minute rant. You can really talk about anything you want, whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, whatever you just want to get off your chest. You got 1 minute to do it. Britt, I think I'm gonna start with you this week.
Me.
Okay.
You always
Okay.
You like to see what I'm gonna talk about to see if you're gonna bounce back at me.
I actually got
I
got one prepared this week, so I'm not going to make one up on the fly. But Britt, you got 1 minute. Take it away.
I'm going at my Eagles coaching staff. How about that?
Okay.
Because they have been driving me insane, because I really think the weakness in this team is that play calling. This is getting bad, and to me, it's getting worse as the regular season. We're going into the playoffs. It's one and done, guys. You got to get it together. Do your homework, whatever you got to do. The last so many weeks, you have been pass heavy. This is not a pass first team. I don't care how good your receivers are. I don't care how much better Jalen has improved in the passing game. You need to run the football. There is no reason why you should start the game off with 7 or 8 straight passes. That's what got you in trouble against a lousy Saints team. That's what you didn't get in trouble, but that's what messed you up against a lousy backup in the Giants team, who I'll give them credit. They play hard. And granted, we was playing a vanilla defense, but still, get your play calling together. Take accountability. Fix what you need to fix. If not, you will be a one and done team. Make a more balanced team. Is my minute up? Because I'm about to get more and more frustrated.
Time.
I was going to say, I'm trying to keep it PG, Jay. You better stop me. I'm trying to keep it PG.
Time. I think that message was loud and clear, Britt. That was loud and clear. We got a little theme tonight, Britt, because I'm going at my team as well. My rant is for my Dallas Cowboys, who laid an absolute egg in the final week of the season. That was terrible. Division was on the line. The conference was on the line. And you come out and play like that. Now, it didn't matter because the Eagles took care of business and the 49ers took care of business. But that's no way to end the season with that type of performance. Now you got to go into the playoffs with that mojo and no momentum. I don't think it's good for the Cowboys. The thing that really concerns me is that defense. Early in the year, this was a defense that got after the quarterback, that was very disruptive. Now they look undisciplined, and they look like they just take a lot of chances, and it's not working out. And then, Britt, all year you've been telling me about Dak, and you've been talking about those turnovers, and I've been kind of looking past it. Now I am concerned. When I look at Dak Prescott, he's not being careful with the football, and he's taking a lot of unnecessary chances. I understand being aggressive, but why take unnecessary chances with the football? Cowboys, you have to get it together, because if you go out in the first round, I'm never going to be able to live this down. Do it for me, Cowboys. Please do it for me. All right, K-Walk. I got that off my chest. I feel a lot better after that, honestly.
I know it's releasing.
I'm hoping I'm hoping my light stays charged for this, ladies and gentlemen, because my rant is Quay Walker, the defensive lineman for the Green Bay Packers. Brother, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Pushing the trainer, the team physician for the Detroit Lions, man. Did you not know what's going on in the NFL right now and what took place last Monday night with the Bills and the Bengals game and what these physicians are doing for these guys? We had a guy down, man, who was hurt. Do you not see what happened last week in Cincinnati with my man right here, with Damar Hamlin, man? Did you not see what's going on? Why are you pushing this guy, man? Why are you pushing this guy? He's coming out there to assist. And if you don't know the importance of this guy's job, then you need to be out of the league, man. And not only that, man, I have to say that Devontae Wyatt also pushed him as well. also nudged him as well. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that's just disrespectful. But going back to Quay Walker, man, I'm ashamed to share the same name as you, brother. But it's just ridiculous. And then you get ejected. This is the first time since 2022 season that a guy has been ejected twice in one season, man, in an NFL game, man. Come on. And after the game, you try to justify it. Well, not justify it. You knew what you did wrong, man. If you know what you're constantly doing wrong, why do you keep doing it, man? Why do you keep doing it? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, man. That's just insanity, man. So Quay Walker, man, get it together. If you got to seek help, seek help.
Yeah, K-Walk, that was terrible, man. That was just an awful look. And to me, the worst part about it was, did you see the video of him walk into the locker room crying? Like he crying like a child.
Come on, bro.
Like he looked to me like an 8-year-old child who was having a temper tantrum. Yeah. That was really, really ugly, man.
Yeah, that's something he's really gonna have to really work on, because that could have been another DeMar situation. Thank God it wasn't.
You never know, right?
And you just distracted him from doing his job. He was just trying to help. I think it was DeAndre. I forgot who was the running back, DeAndre Swift or something. Just trying to do, just trying to do his job, and you just basically disrupted that. So he's really gonna have to mature, and work on that, because that was ridiculous.
That's the kind of stuff that'll have you out of the NFL. Seriously. I mean, I'm not that familiar with him. So obviously he's not like a guy that you can't live without.
Seriously.
That'll have you out.
He's their first round rookie. He was a rookie. He's their first round pick.
Well, he might.
He's a good player. But not smart.
He might.
I hope the NFL suspends him. I hope the NFL suspends him for like 1 or 2 games or 4 games, but to start the season next year.
I was about to say he's already suspended. They're going home.
Yeah, man. They're
going to be on the couch.
Immature. Like, never in all my years playing football have I ever thought about pushing a trainer. Like, that's just so unheard of. Like, that's crazy.
K-Walk, you won that rant. Yeah, that was a good rant.
That was on point. All right, let's do Who's Ball, and then let's get out of here, guys. Every week we like to shout out a team or a player who's just been playing great. We call it our Who's Ballin' segment. Britt, since you say I always start with you, I'll continue to do that. Who you got this week? Who's balling?
Okay, Jay, I got you. So, I was torn between 2, but since I just beat down my own team, primary to coaches, I might as well raise them back up, support them. So I'm going to say the Philadelphia Eagles, really the offense and the defense, but I'm going to pinpoint one. The Eagles now have 2 wide receivers who both broke franchise records. A.J. Brown sets new Eagles single-season receiving record with 1,400 yards, a little bit over 1,400 yards. And Devontae Smith breaks the Eagles single season. Why is that tongue twister? Single season record for catches by a wide receiver. Exactly. But yeah, that's true too. Single season record for catches by a wide receiver with 95 catches for a little bit over almost 1,200 yards. So I had to shout them out. And because K-Walk want to come say some slick stuff, I might as well then throw in the defensive line, who I think they're the first NFL team or second NFL team in history to have 4 D linemen to have 10 plus sacks in the same season. That's nice. We just breaking records all over the place.
That is impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah. So I gotta say, they have been balling. I hope they continue to.
You got to give them credit for that. I talked about this team a little bit earlier. I'm going to shout out the Cincinnati Bengals, man. I know in the AFC, everyone talks about Kansas City, and rightfully so. Everyone talks about Buffalo, rightfully so. Cincinnati has quietly won 8 games in a row. They're playing great football. I wouldn't be shocked if they end up in the Super Bowl again. Cincinnati Bengals, absolutely balling. Okay, Walk, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to stay on the Buffalo Bills theme here, man. Shout out to my man DeMar here, man. And I'm going to go Nyheim Hines, man. Nyheim Hines, the kickoff returner from the Buffalo Bills. I mean, what a way to start off the game for that team. And after everything, I mean, if that wasn't lined up perfectly for the Buffalo Bills, I just don't know what is. And then he came back later on in the game and scored another kickoff return as well to lead the Bills, over the Dolphins as well. So, this is shout out to him, man. Did his thing. I mean, it was just perfectly lined up. And again, ladies and gentlemen, man, prayers work, man. Prayers do work, man. They are here. They are heard for sure. So my man Nyheim Hines and the Buffalo Bills were balling.
Absolutely.
I gotta hit that Miami Heat thing. Not one. Kickoff returns, like that is crazy.
Yeah, that was really unbelievable to return the opening kick. That was crazy, man. So very, very fitting moment for sure.
Can I do an honorable mention?
No.
No, I'm kidding.
It's not about the Cowboys.
No, okay. Go ahead, Britt. Go ahead.
We got to give credit to these Detroit Lions because the Packers, all they had to do was win, and they were in. And Detroit Lions came in and said, "Absolutely not. We're going to send you home, and you're going to sit right next to us on our couch and watch the playoffs." So I got it. Detroit Lions, they have been balling.
Yeah, that's a great call, Britt. Absolutely, because I'm sure the Packers and all Packers fans felt like they were going to the playoffs, and Detroit was having none of it. So that was.
I need to go check on my neighbor who always want to have that Packers flag out. I'm like, I'll take that thing in the house.
All right, guys, good stuff. Let's get ready to get out of here. But Britt, before we do, let the people know where they can find you on social media and tell us what you're looking forward to this week and this weekend.
Of course, I'm looking forward to the NFL playoffs. You have to. I don't even know if I'll be watching NBA. Y'all know how much I like the NBA. It'll just be in NFL all weekend. But you guys can find me on Instagram at Britne Monique. Let me correct that. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all at Britne Monique is on the screen there. And yeah, not really Facebook anymore, but those three. And please subscribe to our channel as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Britt. This is going to be a great weekend of football, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night playoff games. So that's all I'm looking forward to. You guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Jason Talk Sports. And as Britt said, please click that subscribe button on the Sideline Speaks. Share it with a friend. We're trying to grow this channel, and we appreciate your help in doing that. K-Walk, talk to us.
Yeah, I'm right in the same boat with you as far as sports goes, guys. I'm looking forward to Saturday. My 49ers playing the Seahawks. It's football Saturday, Sunday, Monday, for sure. Also, shout out to my son, Braylon. His 18th birthday is Friday. So looking forward to that for sure, man. Making me feel older than I already am. I'm not going to mention that I just got in the mail the AARP application. And it's not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a joke. I really did, man. So I'm in that club now. But you can follow me on Instagram at Kevin.Walker142, Facebook Kevin Walker, and Twitter Kevin Walker at Kevin Walker 142 for sure. But yeah, definitely looking forward to some sports, watching some NBA right now. So yeah, just looking forward to a great weekend, guys, and you guys continue to stay safe for sure.
All right, good stuff, man. We thank everybody for listening to the Sideline Speaks. We'll be back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Brittany Jones and Kevin Walker. I'm Jason Collins, and we'll see you next time.
Go Eagles.
You're inside Never Had It So Good Sports Radio with Princess Cooper, Tim Moore, David the Duck Riley, Jason Collins, Shoshana Cook, Brittany Jones, Travis McGee, Eric Scott, and Kevin Walker. We make it easy to talk sports.